Today I'm going to walk you over to Home Depot and walk you through the store and show you exactly what to get to set up your brand new steel targets and how to build the standout. It's incredibly easy, so easy in fact, I could do it with a toddler. Here's a little pro tip, take the connector and the hanger with you to the hardware store to make sure what you're getting actually fits together. And here's another pro tip, if you want to feel like a pro, you got to park in pro customer parking. It's right over there, but I didn't do it, so I'm not really a pro. Maybe next time. And the aisle you want to shoot for is going to be electrical. This is where the EMT is going to be found, unless they have a forklift in there. This is 1-inch EMT conduit, and what we'll be doing is taking a 10-foot piece. We will be cutting it in half. We'll be doing that twice because you're gonna want 2 5-foot high sides, and then you can cut the length on the third piece however long you want it. 3 10-foot pieces to make 1 target stand is typically what I would go for. Next stop is going to be the hardware section, where you're going to find the 3/8 chain if you want to hang them off the chain. Hang the targets directly off of these, or if you want them to swing a little bit more, you can cut some chain to the exact length that you want it cut at. Another good thing to note is that if you're going to use the chain, you're going to need twice as many attachments because it's not going to go from this directly onto the steel target. You'll need one of these to attach to the pole, then to attach to the chain, and then another one of these to attach to the target. Keep in mind that you're not subjected to 3/8 chain. If you want, you could use 1/4-inch chain if you want to. You could tie it off with a cable. You could also tie it off with any rope that you'll find in the hardware department. So it's really up to you. You can get creative. A couple different ways you can actually cut the pipe. The least expensive way is going to be just your traditional steel hacksaw. This I think is about 10 bucks. You can use an angle grinder with a cutting blade if you'd like. A Sawzall with a metal blade would work just as well, or a chop saw with a metal blade, which is what I'm going to use when I get back to the shop. Total damage for the entire frame came out to about 57 bucks. But again, this frame is gonna last basically forever until you start putting holes through certain parts of it, which you may need to replace parts and pieces of the frame from time to time, but you're pretty much done at 57 bucks. Just don't miss. All you're gonna need is measuring tape. It's about right. Sharpie, chop saw, or whatever cutting utensil of choice that you have. What you're gonna do is just whatever height that you want them at, cut it for that height. If you want something very low to the ground, cut 3-foot legs. If you want something a little bit higher, just cut these 10-foot pieces in half. I forgot to mention before too that you don't have to go to Home Depot. You can go into any hardware store that has EMT piping, and you could, if you really wanted to, probably use some sort of a PVC, but I mean, bullets and plastic don't really go well together. This is not a lesson on how to cut metal. I think we all know how to use a chop saw, but lock it into place on one side, hold the other side with your hand if this is what you're doing, because if it starts to fall, it's gonna create burrs and it may make these little pieces a little more difficult to get into the EMT, the pipes. It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Take the legs, slide it through one hole. Take the other pole, slide it through the other leg. Do the same thing to the other side. Now we have 2 legs.
But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Take your crossbar, slide one through one side. Now before you slide your other leg on, you're gonna wanna slide your hangers on. So, second leg goes on. Now that we have both legs on, so that we have more stability, you're going to wanna kick these out as far as possible. And if it's not set exactly how you want on this crossbeam, you can move it out to the edges to create a little more room for yourself. This is the structural frame that you will have to shoot your steel target. This particular target only has 1 hole. I know I put 6 of these hangers on, so I'm just gonna have an extra hanger sitting up here. There's 1. Here's 2, and here is 3. And that, my friends, is how you mount your targets to your target stand. Congratulations, you are ready to train. As you can see, These hangers give really good movement. And on top of that, these hangers actually are made out of the same AR-500 ballistic steel that the targets are made out of. So you're not going to have to purchase new ones if you do hit them with a round. Last thing, the very last thing that I'll say is the reason why this setup is so amazing is because obviously it could be completely disassembled and fit into most vehicles. Obviously the bed of a truck, but this all kind of breaks down and you could even throw it in a trunk or the back seat of a car. So it's very transportable out to your range.